I'm sorry, people. It's the first time in a long while that I started streaming on YouTube as well. Titles were messed up. Permissions were wonky, but I think we might be good. Maybe? Twitch looks good, alright. Thanks for the feedback. YouTube though. There were way more people on YouTube a couple minutes ago on the faulty stream, so well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it seems to be working, but I feel like it didn't go to everyone's sub box. On the other hand, the viewer numbers seem to be slowly going up. So maybe it's just a fluke. And maybe it'll be alright after all. Alright. Fantastic. Let me start off this stream by thanking Arctic Quiff and Fails 007 for the follows, but also for thanking all of you for your feedback, your support, and yeah, all your kind words regarding the new update video we posted. I'm not gonna lie, it took a good chunk of time to make. If you haven't seen it for some reason, I'm just gonna post a link on YouTube and Twitch right now. It was interesting to make something like this for a change. The dev diary, it took quite a while to write. After I wrote the script, I sent it over to the department leads for them to share their input, and you know they know more about they know more about their department than I do. So that was like the second iteration, and then I talked with Jake Decker from GameSpot, who was originally going to be editing the video. He did a lot of documentary style content for GameSpot, and he gave me a lot of good advice on what to do with this first episode. But that kind of fell through, and I asked another friend for help, Heavy Burns from YouTube. Quite an up-and-coming YouTube channel, actually. We were talking about the Elder Scrolls and modding, etc. Really nice dude, and yeah, he carried the project home with me. So a lot of stress, but I like to think it paid off. Say Ferner and Terror by Death. Yikes! Thank you for the follows. All right, let's see if this works, eh? It does. I was already, I was looking at the, let's not listen to Nickelback. I was hoping to put my Skyblivion playlist on. There we go. I saw the first episode for, I don't know, like the 5th time, and you start to notice little things. So one of the things, when we talked about music, for instance, I should have really specified that all the music you guys heard in the background of the video was all from the new OST. Just kind of a missed opportunity to bring that to the attention of the viewer, but hey, it can only get better next time around. So I'm excited to work on the second episode, and the second episode will actually be a lot more in depth. Episode 1 served kind of as an introductory type video. That's why you saw a whole segment about the origin of the mod, some really old and early footage with all kinds of missing textures, broken meshes, markers that you could visually see while walking through the game. It was a complete broken mess, but I thought it would be really important to try and give you guys an idea where this project started and where we came from and how far we've gotten. So yeah, I was quite happy to see that it was received well. What are we working on today? Same old, same old. I'm gonna try and finish part of this Navmesh claim of ours. Also, Roy and Regilon, thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. If you guys were wondering, Roy is one of our 3D artists. You saw some of his work in the developer diary. He works on our guard armor sets for the different cities, and Regilon is also a 3D artist who's currently working on Castle Clutter, which is looking so much better than it should be. Absolutely amazing. Alright. So it always takes a little while to load the creation kits, so bear with me. My pleasure, Darth Bard. Glad to hear that you enjoyed it. Awesome. Oh, actually, I just remembered that last stream, the creation kit crashed. So we lost 30 minutes of work, so I kind of have to look at my previous stream. While I do that, I'll give you guys at least a look at the creation kit. Looks far more interesting than yeah, that's something that will happen when you're working on the creation kit. It'll crash and you will lose everything. Yeah, I can't make out coordinates. Oh boy. I think 32 and 2. And 21. Oh my god. Let's have a look. 32 and 2? Oh, that's Oblivion gate, I think. Hey, Lucy. Maybe it's not an Oblivion gate. Oh, okay, yeah, we've actually been here. Okay, that's good. Oh, well, good. Not sure if it's good, actually. Always fun. I think we've been through this area then. It's sad that you watch my streams to sleep. Honestly, I watch quite a few streamers myself when it's kind of late and I want to sleep. It's a relaxing podcast almost. Escapist, thank you for the follow, welcome. You have a relaxing, smooth voice. I should look into it as a profession. I'm good. I wanna get paid to whisper in people's ears as much as I like it. I think I'll stick with so keep that going. Savior, thank you. You know what, I should probably tell you guys what I'm doing. I imagine there might be new folks to both the YouTube and Twitch channel. So why don't I actually do that? This is actually something we didn't cover in the developer diary. But what we're doing today, tonight, this morning, it kind of depends on where you live, doesn't it? It's called Navmeshing. Navmesh stands for navigational mesh. Essentially, the entire world map. Let me make it a bit pretty for you to look at. The entire world map is divided into these squares or grids, and on top of these grids there's on top of these squares there's a grid, these collection of red triangles, which we call the Navmesh. The Navmesh is used by AI, by NPCs, by anything other than the player, to navigate around the map. An example, for instance, would be, you know, us. We see this rock, we jump on top of it. We could probably scale up this side as well, and I don't know, do our business. NPC, on the other hand, doesn't know what is in front of them. All they know is the Navmesh tells them. This Navmesh is slightly angled, as you can see. It has a bit of a slope. An NPC will see that, and they will walk on top of it because that's what the Navmesh tells them they can do. Since if the player was hiding behind this rock and he was being attacked by a bandit, the fight started here, then the player ran across to this spot. The NPC could then probably follow in his footsteps because the NPC sees, okay, if I go straight, there's a gap, so either there's a wall or there's a ravine, there's something that I can get across, so the NPC will follow the same trajectory. Just a bit. And then you have all these different squares in which we have to work. The claim I'm currently working on consists out of, I think, almost 300 of these. There's quite a lot. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through right now. We're making sure that the Navmesh is optimized and doesn't have any errors. Errors can lead to bugs, crashes, all kinds of stuff that you don't want. So that's kind of why we're doing this and how we're doing this. Your voice is choppy. Whoa. No, why would it do that? Alright, I'll try to walk you guys through it again in a little bit. I'm not sure why the microphone is acting up. I guess you guys can keep me in the loop. All right, just let me know when it's back to normal, and I'll repeat myself. Music is fine. Yeah. All right. Hey Owen, all good? King, Verb, thank you for the follows. Good trailer the other day, thank you. Hey Danny, welcome back. Is the microphone still fucked then? It is? Fucking hell. Alright, weird. Yo, Jason. Good to see you. Is there any concern about Microsoft shutting down the project? Oh god, it's worse, isn't it? Uh, no. Nothing, nothing that we know of. We do know that Microsoft is, or has been, very pro modding the last few years. And I think that after buying a brand that's as massive as Elder Scrolls, which has a massive history with its modding community, it would be a really bad move to shut down all the total conversion mods out there. So I really don't see any reason to be concerned at this point in time. I'm hoping to get an actual statement from someone at Bethesda, but until I do, all I can do is speculate. But I don't see any reason to be worried about the project, none whatsoever. Thanks, Doc, for the follow. Appreciate you. Thank you, Steve. Welcome. Alright. Another cell done. As you saw, I should have probably talked about that when it was happening, but you just go through a bunch of errors in the cell and correcting them before finalizing and moving on to the next one. I'll try to keep that in mind for the next one and actually show you guys. Another neat little trick when you're Navmesh, by the way, is to hit or select anywhere on the main Navmesh, one triangle, and press I. This is invert select, which highlights anything that's not connected to the main mesh, which you can just we call these Navmesh islands. Navmesh islands are basically a waste of verts, a waste of space and resources, essentially. I think it's not directly connected to the main mesh. An NPC won't be able to get to anyway. Then there's also the question, like, you can see there's a bunch of rocks, Navmesh, like without enabling the different, I don't know, window, model renderer, whatever. You can see that this is going to be a rock. If I hit W, yep, that's the rock. You can ask yourself, is it worth it to Navmesh at all? I say no, so you get rid of it, and you just optimize your Navmesh. We don't want to go too deep and too crazy with optimization, or you'll spend easily an hour on a single cell. To give you an idea, we have 4,000 plus cells, so you know, 1 hour per cell, that's quite a lot of time. So you want to kind of decide for yourself in the moment what is a worthwhile optimization, what isn't. You know, when you do this for a while, you kind of get pretty handy with it, and probably looks a little bit intimidating, but it's much easier than it looks, I can tell you that. I'm still a fucking robot? God damn it. Okay. No mic. I think we may have crashed again. The mic is fixed. Well, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Yeah, this is okay. First crash of today. We do have an autosave though, so not the end of the world. It's not ideal, but it could be worse. How many minutes did you lose? Not too much, I don't think. Well, we'll be able to see when I load the plugin. The timestamp will let us know. Not sure, but I think we may have lost it all. It's a little weird. If you don't accept donations, is there a charity that the Skyblivion team would like me to donate to instead? Well, I can't speak for the Skyblivion team. Suicide prevention is a charity that I'm unfortunately very familiar with. Other than that, you know, cancer research, also a very good charity to donate to. Or any part in the world where people suffer from dehydration, starvation. Save the Children is also a very good charity, yes. Alright, there we go. Crazy Kid is back. Thank you for all the follows. Sorry, I can't really read out your name. Too much going on. But it is appreciated. Alright, alright, alright. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Yo, cinematic. Are you who I think you are? Cheers, man. Still kind of bummed I never ran into you at Gamescom last year. Been nice to talk some Star Wars. Have you seen the new video by any chance? As a cinematic man, what do you think? Oh, cool. All right. Well, by all means, let me know. I'm sad to admit I didn't do any of the video editing. Only record some of the shots. Thank you for the follow, sir or madam. Oh boy. Yes. Thank you, Kanora. Appreciate that. How many people are on the team? Good question. I think if we look at the active members, we have about 30 30 people on the Skyblivion project at this point in time. So that would be Navmeshers, level designers, landscapers, concept artists. It's a small team, but a good team. A group of ladies and gents, very talented, very passionate. Wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. Only 30? It is, yeah, it is. It's definitely in the low end. I think the biggest problem is that if you look at the Elder Scrolls and Skyrim project in specific, Skyrim and Skywind were there long before we were. So it's a bit difficult finding people who aren't already working on, you know, one of the other projects. You don't want to poach members. Sometimes members come to you who also work on other projects, and while they usually have good intentions, a lot of the time what ends up happening is that you know, someone is on the project for a few months and then eventually comes to the conclusion that juggling between more than one project is, you know, too much of yourself. So yeah, it's definitely a small team, but as you can see, we make it work. And we're always on the lookout for new people, always trying to recruit new members to keep this this train chugging along. Small team definitely has its advantages too. It's easier to manage, easier to keep an eye on progress, track claims, people, etc. It's not all it's not all bad. On the other hand, you know, you sometimes have people who can hand in one asset a week, and some people who can churn out, I don't know, like 20 in a week. So the numbers themselves don't really mean that much or give you that much information. It's kind of more, it depends on who you have on your team. And to be fair, we don't really, discriminate is not the right word, but we don't really care if you're person A or B in this example. Like if you can work on 3 clutter assets a week or a month, we will gladly take it. If everyone was able to finish, you know, 3 assets a month, you'd have a 3D team of let's say 10 people. It starts adding up. Alright, what I just did was checking for errors, and the error log tells me that there's 12 issues in this specific cell. This is a pretty common one where Navmesh overlaps. Really quite bad. Luckily, it's also a very easy fix in this case. Go. Basically doing for a lot of these errors is I'm redistributing the triangles. You can see me, for instance, in this case, highlighting the line in between, hitting S, and there's your error gone. It's basically like playing a really weird puzzle most of the time. Here we go. Error fixed. Moving on. Before we move on, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save after every single cell now because we lost too much work and time already. Loving the diary, definitely the kind of stuff I love to see. It was honestly a lot of fun to work on as well, and I hope it'll bring things into perspective a bit better for people who aren't very weren't aware basically what goes on behind the scenes of a project, or just, you know, like any game. There's a lot of moving parts and things, you know, aren't as easy as they may seem. In order to get an object in game, or specific, or even worse, a creature or a piece of clothing, it needs to be skinned, rigged. It's quite a lot of work, and that's, you know, stuff we kind of take for granted because, you know, we don't really see the process of getting a piece of cloth to look right on a human or a beast. But that's hopefully something we can kind of highlight in the future episodes specifically, because the first episode 1, was really more of an introduction. We touched upon all the different departments in kind of a pretty broad way. We told a little bit about the history of the project. We showed some of the earliest footage I could find of Skyblivion to give you an idea of where we started and where we are now. And the next episodes will focus more specifically on tasks we worked on in the months prior. So for instance, right now we're really working quite hard on asset implementation and architecture, so a good chance that we will see more of that in the upcoming dev diary. Also more time probably spent on landscaping specific segments. Lots of interesting topics to cover, definitely. Quests, actually, that's one of the big ones that's being in the works right now. Like there's been so much work done on quests lately. Absolutely amazing. Interiors as well. I'm starting a new job in Munich, Germany. Next month. And in my role, I'll also be able to, for instance, or probably at least pitch, working on developer series similar to this, which I thought would be quite interesting to explore. I think that would be really cool. Only problem is I'm not quite sure yet what projects I will be working on, what games, because I'll have to sign an NDA first, of course, which I won't be able to do until I get to the office. Exciting stuff. This is also a nice one. So the gray square is basically a cutout for the tree. As I explained before, how the Navmesh works. Red is areas you can walk on. Anything gray, that's basically a cutout that tells the NPC, okay, whatever this is, you can't go there, so you have to go around. In this case, it's auto-generated, and for some reason this massive got a little tiny square. Now, the square is good. It's a very effective and efficient shape to use in this case, but obviously we have to make it much bigger. Actually, you know what? Screw squares. Hexagons for life. Sounds... Does it sound worse or better? It's getting worse again, okay. Yeah, I think I'll just have to restart my PC soon, or I really need to do some upgrades because my computer has been... I feel like it's been slowly dying the last few months. Slow and painful death. Alright. But I'm concerned this claim is done. So I'm gonna check for errors. We find 5 triangles with priority warnings. Let's check them out one by one. You have an option actually. If you hit yes now, it'll delete all the errors in this cell. But I found that it's usually more work to patch the holes up than to just go through them one by one. Ta-da! That's it. Done. So. Pentagon? Potato potato. Exterior nav meshing looks like a nightmare. Yeah, it's not always fun. But it needs to be done. So here we are. Shivering Isles done? No. It's also not being worked on at the moment. As much as we love Shivering Isles, honestly, it's probably my favorite DLC. The problem is that we want Skyblivion to be released as soon as possible. As much for our own sanity as for yours. And in order to make sure that Skyblivion releases ASAP, we decided to focus on the core game first. So the main Oblivion storyline, and any DLC after. So kind of similar to Oblivion's original life cycle. You know, as much as I love the Shivering Isles, it's easily gonna add 2 more years to the development cycle of the project, if not more. So it's better to just kind of keep that idea in the box and come back to it when our project has been released. We've gotten the feedback, we've hopefully gotten more members out of the release as well. And we're kind of fresh to tackle something new and something big. Just made more sense to do it that way. Because believe it or not, the developers want this mod to be released as soon as possible too. Not just you guys. Thank you again for all the follows, by the way. I'm having a bit of trouble keeping up, so I'm just gonna focus on the work, try and answer questions in chat when I can. But do know that I see the pop-ups and I do appreciate you following the channel. Oh, actually, good news. After this stream, you will be able. Wait, why is there a YouTube window in my CK? Why is it in yours? Yo, my computer is not doing too hot, ladies and gentlemen. What the fuck? Okay. We'll just pretend that that's not happening. Everything is good. Everything's fine. Back to what I was saying. So in at the end of the stream, one of our 3D artists will be streaming his own Twitch channel, and he will be working on guard armors for Skyblivion. You may know him already. His name is Roy. He used his armor work in the development actually. It was the knight armor, the turntable that you saw. That's his work. Absolutely fantastic guy. And I'm sure he would really appreciate you guys stopping by when he does start. I definitely recommend. Actually, let me share his channel real quick. If I can find him. I cannot. Okay, no worries. Save. Actually, let's check for errors first. Even if you were wondering what happens if you don't check for errors and accidentally move on to next cell, good question, by the way. It's not the end of the world, because when I finish my entire claim, I'm gonna be reloading the plugin in the creation kit, and when you reload the plugin, it'll actually tell you if there's any remaining errors. And if there is, I will simply write down the error log, the coordinates, and go through them one by one, just like we're doing now, and fix anything that needs fixing. And that way, you know, you'll still end up with an errorless plugin at the end of the day. It's admittedly, it's just easier to do it right from the start, because Navmeshing as a whole isn't the most interesting part of game development, and the error checking part is probably the worst. So imagine doing that for an hour, and that's not an overstatement. That's how long it'll probably take to go through every single error. So yeah. If and when possible, I like to avoid doing that. Also, I'm gonna paint these blue, because it is water after all. How are the bees? We're actually getting the bees. Yes, a bit of context. I'm keeping bees in my spare time as well. I have a few too many hobbies probably. But anyway, thank you for asking, Cyrodiil. So the bees are doing fine. We're currently preparing them for winter. So some of the hives are kind of light and they need some additional feeding. Some hives we concluded are just too small and underpopulated, so they need to be merged, which is never a fun process, because if you're merging two hives, what you need to do is you need to kill one queen, and that's always kind of sucky. But if you don't, there's a good chance that the hive will just die off in the winter. So you know, the choice between one queen or a couple thousand bees is limited. But yeah, it's great. They're doing fantastic. The ladies have been very busy this year, and generally speaking, they're looking very healthy. and ready to chill. So actually an interesting fact with bees is that during the winter, the hive is actually occupied by a different type of bee. So usually a regular bee only lasts for a few weeks, but these winter bees, they last for 6 months. They don't fly, all they do is keep the hive warm and tend to their queen. The sad part is that during September and October, what you'll see is mass graves in front of your beehives, because all the regular work bees they die. All the male bees, the drones, they get thrown out of the hive, and drones can't really take care of themselves, so they die as well. And all that remains is the queen and these winter bees, who you don't really see until it's spring, and the new bees are born and start flying out and getting nectar. A very cool process, though. I fucking love honeybees. Really, really interesting creatures, and great honey as well. So it's a win-win. I've never had mead. I'm really sad to admit that, but I've never had it. I was in Germany once, and I should have bought it at a Christmas market kind of thing. I've put it ever since. Okay, this saw I'm actually not gonna touch. It looks fine, nothing special, but it doesn't look like it'll break the game. So I'm just gonna move on. Actually, something I forgot to check is if these borders stitch together nicely, and they do. Except these. Love the dev diary, good work. Thank you very much. Yeah, so far I'm really really happy with all the feedback and reception. What area of the map is this? This is the Niben Basin, I think. Yeah, silver, roughly. Hmm. It's very relaxing working with the stream and Oblivion music in the background. Honestly, whenever I'm not streaming, I always just work with someone else's stream on the side when they work on their own game or mod, or it is super relaxing and motivating as well. If you see someone else work, it makes me more motivated to work as well. There we go. Yo, Shad, thank you. Which city needs the most work? Let me think. I think at this point either yeah, it's gonna be Leowin. Probably Leowin and then Anvil, because they have been completely reformed almost, so it's gonna take some work putting everything back. My favorite city in Cyrodiil would be either Anvil, because it's close to the beach, it's kind of very unique in its placement and style, or Skingrad, because it's probably the most easily defendable castle, and probably the prettiest as well. Gonna explain what I'm doing right now in the easiest way I can possibly think of is many dots is bad, few dots is good. I think we just went down from 20 to 6 in that area. Well, even more than 20. Make your PC happier when you run the game, and it'll make NPCs happier as well, because they probably won't get stuck on things, at least not as much. Many dot bad, few dot good. Exactly. Now you get it. Alright, so one done. Does it matter how big the walkable or non-walkable areas are? Walkable seas? Not really, no. Do the Navmesh triangles bend and clinging to the landscape surface? No, that's why, for instance, we can't just put down two massive triangles of 4. We need a collection of these to make sure they kind of hug the landscape, like we can see right there. It's either it's usually just above or just below the surface, and that's more or less the sweet spot. That's where you want it to be. If it's really high above or really deep below, then that'll cause issues with NPC pathing, but this is basically just right. Wait, do you hear that?
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch! I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine, or it's off to jail.
I knew I heard something. He fucked off again though, so we're fine. Not sure who you guys told. Well, whatever it was, it's okay, I'm not gonna tell. Don't do it again, alright? I'm sorry guys, I really am. Every now and again, you know, it has to be done. Thank you for the follow. If you get started, I'll send folks your way soon. Sound like a deal? All right, I have a treat for you guys. I'm gonna be handing the stream over to someone else. For the people watching on YouTube, actually, hop on over to Twitch, right there. I mean, that's usually a good place to go to anyway, because that's where most of the streams take place. Every once and again we're on YouTube, but mostly we are on the Twitch. I'm actually gonna send you over to someone else. This someone is our very own and very talented Roy, a 3D artist who kicks ass at making armor sets. He has so far completed 2 of Skyblivion's 2, 4, 6, 8 city guard armors. 2 out of 8, not bad. And he will be working on the 3rd. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I think it was Breville or maybe Leowin. But yeah, super exciting stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raid his Twitch channel. And I'll let you guys enjoy that. You saw some of his work in the Skyblivion Developer Diary #1. You saw an iron armor set and a guard armor set in that video. Well, now you know where they came from, or who they came from. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him work on that. Alrighty, having that said, I'm going to thank you all very much for your time, for joining me today. It was not a long stream. I think we've been live for about 2 hours. I'll be back tomorrow with more Navmeshing work or anything else I can do for the project. Please do follow the Skyblivion project on social media, such as Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Facebook. If for some reason you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you can just type at @rebelsize and you'll find me right there. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna have to say goodbye and send you over. Thank you very much, as always, and